This has been for me, and I think I can safely say for all of us, probably one of the most stressful years in our lives, with so many people getting sick and dying from the virus. And even with the vaccines now starting to be deployed, it's going to be well into next year before I'm going to feel safe to resume any of what I consider to be normal activities. Chris Bozer has put a hold on the camp for a potential summer gathering in August. So that is reserved. And if it's safe, it'll be an opportunity for us to be together physically. I really hope that happens. Um, and regardless of your politics, we went through one of the most stressful political campaigns I've ever seen. And so with the intensity of the virus and the shutdown being relieved somewhat with the vaccines in place and the election over, everybody take a breath right now. Individually and collectively, we have survived an incredibly stressful year and can still show up. I honor you for your work, for your service, for your lives, and for being part of the ManKind project. So there were a couple of things that came out of the meeting on Wednesday that I wanted to highlight for you. I mean, a couple of things at the organizational level that relate to additional initiatives for racial justice. And in the state of Florida, a couple of months ago, we started our version of what had been started up in New York. We're calling it Florida White Men Unraveling Racism. And we had some good turnouts and some not so good turnouts. So we took a breath and we're going to reinitiate it in 2021 with a different focus. So what I'm going to ask you to do is put a hold on January 21st. It's the third Thursday, it's the 21st. And after the first of the year, we'll start sending out email announcements about what we're planning to do on that. Our hope is that it will be an opportunity for men to come together in a non-confrontational, supportive environment. And in the midst of all the racial tension that exists, to move, one of the brothers said, let's move the dial 2 degrees out of 360. So we have an opportunity to come together and talk with one another, learn and share. I'm going to ask you as I-Group reps not only to come to that meeting, but to encourage the members of your I-Group to come. And as I said, after the first of the year, we'll start sending out information that would be, kind of get you ready. There's a racial justice action team of which I'm a member. And that team, in conjunction with National, has put together a really extensive list of readings, podcasts, movies at many different levels. So whatever your level of interest is, there will be resources available, and we'll put out those links. There's also a list. One of the resources is called 103 Things That White Men Can Do. And it's kind of daunting. It goes on for many pages. So one of the members of the Racial Justice Action Team made a spreadsheet with just the title and one specific action. And even that is 8 pages. If there's one thing you could do that would in some way make life better for people who are historically marginalized, what would that one thing be? And so the list that we'll send out might give you some things that prompt your thinking and get you ready for that. But it is my hope as the Florida Steward that we can come together as brothers and talk about an incredibly messy, potentially challenging issue, and do it in a way that provides insight, support, and additional fellowship. A couple of other things that came out of that, they are still encouraging before the year ends to encourage members of your I-Group who are not members to sign up. because there was a dip in membership and it's coming back, and they're hoping again at the I group level. Remind the people in your I group, people can join as members for $1 or make a monthly contribution for a single dollar, or make a monthly contribution if they choose in any dollar amount. So I'm going to ask you as the I group reps to encourage the members of your I group to renew or become members. What they're working on at the national level is providing a continuous pathway so that people, after they've gone through an NWTA, there's the After the Adventure program, which is relatively new. So it becomes what one of the guys said the other night. The men at the NWTA have 2 opportunities for full group check-ins, and the After the Adventure, their thing is a 3rd check-in where soon after they finish a weekend, they can come together, check in, reestablish the connection they had with the people they went through the weekend with. And then the next box, the primary integration training, PIT 2020 online, has been in development, it turns out, for years. I just found out the original PIT was developed in 2007, and then it was modified in 2011 and hasn't been updated since then. And then with the virus hitting, the team went to work in overdrive to create an online PIT 2020 that the people who have been through it, it's been piloted a couple of times, and the feedback has been, it's outstanding. And one of the things that I will also send out, so that I don't have to share too much, is that there are new component parts to it. People who are interested in teaching it or being part of instructing PITs, there's an opportunity to get training so that we can, if we want, in Florida, even for men who have been through the weekend years ago, the feedback on this PIT Online 2020 is that it has so much good new material that even veterans in MKP would find it beneficial. And then for you as leaders in your I groups, there's a new program called I Group Leadership Skills Training to make you as the reps, and it's not limited only to I Group reps. Anybody in an I group can sign up for that training, and I believe that is now on the training catalog. And then if you want to deepen your skills, there's the IGFT, I Group Facilitation Training. And I know that in Ken's group, the Kingsmen, they are using those protocols even before they've gone through the full IGFT, because the protocols are so well written that they help men do work even in advance of the I Group Facilitation Training. And all of those programs are available to strengthen the I groups, which is what everybody was in agreement. That is the lifeblood. You are the lifeblood of MKP in Florida and nationwide. So I wanted you all to be aware that all of those programs, some are still in developmental stages, but every time I get aware of anything that's new, that's available, I will put that through the pipeline so that you can share it with your members. I also want you to put another date on your calendar. We will finalize this on Saturday, but we are going to have a virtual winter gathering the first weekend in February. We did a summer gathering, which was an absolute experiment. Can we do something in a platform like Verbella? We had 43 men show up for that, for at least part of that weekend. And the overwhelming feedback was it was way better than most people imagined it would be. So the planning team is meeting on Saturday. One of the feedback we got was people wanted more time to play together. And I can guarantee you that will be a significant component of that. One of the guys who recommended that weekend pointed out, if it's held, that's Super Bowl weekend. So one of the things we'll talk about on Saturday, could we have a viewing room where people who wanted to watch the Super Bowl could do it together virtually? Well, I don't know. That'll be part of the work of the planning committee. But hold that weekend, February 5 to 7. A lot of things are happening in the midst of all the stress that we have been under this year, the lack of ability to get together in person, which for so many of us matters so deeply. There are things that are happening in the virtual world that allow us to stay connected. And I want to close this recording truly blessing you. When the other area stewards were talking about how important iGroups are, it is a joy in my life that I know each one of you personally, as well as other iGroup reps around the state. And I want to honor you and bless you, because in this state, as spread out as we are, without you in your leadership roles, it would be a much greater struggle. So I want to wish all of you happiness in whatever way you celebrate the holidays, and all best wishes that next year we'll be able to celebrate as a truly happy new year.